Patterns. Patterns are formed when something is repeated. For example, you may see a series of pictures, numbers, or designs. Some examples of patterns are, if you look at example 1, you have a heart followed by 2 stars followed by an up arrow, and all 4 symbols repeat in exactly the same order. In example 2, you have a series of numbers, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, with a common characteristic. Pause the video for a minute and see if you can determine what the common characteristic is. Hopefully you've realized that you are adding 4 to each term to get the next term. Example 3, there's a pattern again to the numbers. They have a common characteristic. We have 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160. Again, pause the video and see if you can determine the common characteristic. Multiplication by 2 gives the next term. So 5 multiplied by 2 gives 10. 10 multiplied by 2 gives 20. So to continue the pattern, you repeatedly multiply the previous term by 2. Each member of a pattern is called a term. We talk about terms by their position. For example, term 1 is in position 1. If we look at example 3, term 1 is 5, term 2 is 10, term 3 is 20, and so on. In math, we examine patterns to find rules. These rules help us talk about what the pattern will be like for very large values. So if I look at the example, or the pattern in example 2, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, we've already determined that each term increases by 4. But what does this look like as a rule? We're taking the previous term and adding 4 to it. So since we increase by 4, we need to have a multiple of 4 in the rule, because when we keep adding 4 over and over and over, that tells us multiplication. And it's likely related to the term number. So 4 times something, let's see, that's 4 times something equals 7. Well, if that was the term number, that would be 4 times 1. But how do I get a 7? And if it's 11, 4 times the term number is 2, that's 8. How do I get 11? That's right. We're going to keep adding 3 to each term, or to each product. So how can we use the rule? If we want to know the 20th term in a pattern, we can use substitution. So term n is 3 plus 4x is our rule. And if we want to find term 20, we can substitute 20 in where x is. And our friend BEDMAS tells us that we multiply the 4 with the 21st, so that's 80. And then we add 3.